what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah, first of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams.
I'm sorry, but that just doesn't make any sense.
The hopes of rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams.
What does that even mean? And this word aspirations, I'm about to send her a dictionary so she can come up with something a little better than that word aspirations.
And ambitions for your family, and working hard and finding that the American dream is...
Are you serious?
For this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been. And we need to deal with that. And there are a number of ways. One is bringing down the cost of everyday necessities, including grocery.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
You know, I heard it said a long time ago that when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. So I got a question for you. What has the Biden-Harris administration shown you for the last 4 years? Let's take politics out of it. Just look at what is right in front of your face as far as what you've seen over the last 4 years. What have they done? What have they done for you? Now, for me, like every other American, I've seen gas prices go through the roof. I've seen food prices go through the roof. We won't even talk about the jacked up border or housing. So here's a question I have. So why doesn't it bother people that this same country who mourned and even joined the military to go out and fight back when almost 3,000 people died at what they believe were the hands of 4 terrorists during 9/11? I mean, people were leaving their families to go join the military. So how can those same people who mourned be okay with unsecure borders, where we are literally letting terrorists come into our country for free? I mean, think about it. Come on, people. Seriously? Letting them in for free. So in regards to housing, let me touch on this. Thankfully for me and my family, I bought my house right before the end of 2020 in August of that year, and I was able to get a very low interest rate, actually less than 3%. Now, how many of you can say that now? And be honest. A buddy of mine recently went to the store and bought some coffee creamer. Coffee creamer, y'all. I remember when this stuff a couple years ago was, I believe, like $4.59. And if I remember right, I believe he bought a gallon container. So a gallon-sized container of sweetened coffee creamer was about $4.59. Now it's almost $10, which is what he told me he paid for it. So with that craziness over the last 4 years, we have learned to just deal with it. It reminds me of the story of the frog in the boiling pot of water. And this is how it goes. So if you take a frog and you put him in a boiling pot of water, that frog will immediately jump out. Why? Because it's too hot. Now, if you take that same frog and you put him into some lukewarm water, let's say, and you just gradually heat up that pot, that stupid frog will sit there and boil to death. In this country, we are like that stupid frog sitting in that pot of water boiling to death. What they've been doing for the last 4 years, the Biden-Harris administration has been increasing slowly the temperature to the point where we've gotten so complacent with the way things are that we have literally died in that pot of water, just like that frog. And many of you have been watching her on the few times that she has gone out and spoken, and believe that she's going to do something different than what she's done. So for me, personally, I don't really consider myself a Democrat or a Republican. For me and my family, we live our lives on Christian values according to what the Bible standard is. And I cannot vote for a party or a candidate whose views seem to align with everything that goes against what God's word says. You see, when Trump was in office, up until the point where the fake super germ so to speak, was implemented into our society. And I honestly believe that was all staged to cause chaos and confusion, and for them to see how much they could actually manipulate us in society. But up until that point, our economy was booming. I remember things were getting done. And one thing I will say about DJT, he is one of the few people who actually went in there and did what he said he was actually going to do. And after watching the current administration, the last 4 years, I can't say the same. Can you honestly say that Harris and Biden have done what they said they were going to do? Or have they made things worse? I can't. So in conclusion, we all have a decision to make. And I'm thankful that I live in a country where we have the freedom to make those decisions, especially when it comes to our elections. What's sad is when people try to influence, coerce, or cheat our election system to gain an advantage. One thing I will say before I close, the truth always comes out. And I'm telling you right now, the whistleblowers, they are tooting their horns. I can't wait to see what's going to continue to come out about all the crap that's been going on in this country for the last 4 years. And like I said, and I'll say it again, if your eyes aren't open after 4 years of what's happened in this country, crawl back under that rock you've been sleeping under. I love you guys. Wake up, people. I'll see you on the next one.